Opportunities don't just show up for everyone, they show up for the people who live in a way that attracts them. Think about that for a second. Why is it that some people always seem to get picked, get noticed, or get invited into something bigger, while others keep waiting year after year? It's not luck, it's not magic, it's their habits. The truth is, opportunity is drawn to consistency, to courage, to energy, to the way you carry yourself every single day. If you build the right habits, you don't have to chase every chance. You become the kind of person chances chase. That's the power of this idea. In this audiobook, you'll discover 10 habits that do exactly that. Real habits that make people trust you, remember you, and open doors for you. If you're ready to stop waiting and start attracting, this is where it begins. Chapter 1. Create visibility by sharing your work with the world. I stand here speaking to you in plain, honest language about one habit that changes how life finds you and how opportunity reaches for you. Create visibility by sharing your work with the world. This is not a trick or a slogan. This is a practice you can act on every single day. People find what they can see. When your work is visible, others can measure it, respond to it, and bring it into their lives. When your work hides, it cannot invite anything in. Think for a moment about how it feels when something you care about gets noticed. You feel relieved, you feel proud, and you are more willing to keep going. That feeling is real, and it matters. It is the first reward for making your work available. Start with a simple promise to yourself. Post one clear piece of your work this week. Not a perfect piece, but a clear, honest piece. Share a short video, a photo, a paragraph, a sample, a demo, a report, a sketch, a playlist, or a short message about what you are building. The point is to show, not to hide. The world responds to evidence. Evidence is the story you prove by action, not the story you rehearse in private. Begin with clarity about what you want others to see. Choose one message, describe it in one sentence. What is the result you want people to notice? What problem are you solving, who benefits, and what do you want them to do next? Say it simply. Write that sentence down. If you cannot say it in simple language, you are not yet sure enough about what you are offering. Clarity is a magnet for attention. Share work with a simple focus on value. Do not begin by asking for jobs, favors, or praise. Give something useful. Teach a small idea, show a step, explain a common mistake you fixed, share a before and after, or demonstrate the way you do one small part of your craft. When people receive value, they are inclined to respond. That response becomes a start of a relationship. People will remember who helped them when they need help themselves. Make the habit of sharing visible work small and repeatable. Aim for small wins that build a track record. One post a week, one short clip every few days, one update after each completed task. Small, consistent actions lead to a portfolio you can point to. That portfolio becomes proof. Proof reduces doubt for you and for others. Proof invites opportunity because it shows you do not only plan, you produce. Use simple formats that match your strengths. If you write short, clear posts and share them. If you speak, record brief clips of you explaining one idea and post them. If you design, post images with explanations of why you chose certain elements. If you build code, show a short demo and a link. Pick formats that you enjoy and that you can sustain. Enjoyment prevents burnout and sustains discipline. Prepare a clear place where people can find more. A profile, a page, a link tree, a portfolio, a single document, or a one-page website gives your audience somewhere to go. When someone sees your work and wants more, they need a clear next step. Design that next step to be simple. A single email address, a subscribe button, or a contact form is enough. If people must search and search, they will stop. Make it easy for someone who wants to help to take the next step. Be visible in the right places. Where do the people you want to connect with spend their time? Choose a few places and be present there. Show up in groups, forums, meetups, events and online spaces where your audience or peers gather. Presence matters more than perfection. When you appear consistently, people start to recognize your name, your face, and your work. That recognition builds trust. Trust leads to opportunities. Tell one short story when you publish. Stories anchor memory. Share what you were trying, what went wrong, and what changed. Focus on the feeling you had, the uncertainty, the small wins, the relief. People relate to honest human experience. When you share truthfully, others feel less alone and are more likely to reach out. Avoid dramatic language and avoid embellishment. Keep it direct and personal. Make sharing a practice of learning. Ask one clear question each time you put something out. What feedback do I need? What can I measure? Who can give me a short, honest reaction? Invite feedback in a specific way. People are willing to help when asked precisely. Use that feedback as fuel to improve. When your work evolves publicly, the people who follow it feel part of the process. That sense of participation increases their willingness to recommend you to others. Respond fast when people reach out. A quick reply is a visible sign of reliability. If someone sends a message, respond within 24 hours, if possible. A short, sincere reply builds trust. If someone gives feedback, say thank you. If someone asks for more, say when you can follow up. Small actions like these make others feel respected and seen. That feeling increases the likelihood they will think of you for future opportunities. Create a simple schedule for visibility. Block time each week for producing, sharing, and responding. Treat that block as non-negotiable. Protect it like any appointment. When you schedule, you reduce friction. When you reduce friction, you increase the chance your habit holds. Consistent visibility beats occasional polished launches. Frequency creates familiarity, which leads to trust, and that trust leads to invitations. Prepare for discomfort and plan to step through it. Sharing work exposes you to criticism and to silence. Both are hard. Prepare strategies to cope. When criticism arrives, evaluate it for truth and ignore the rest. When posts get little attention, adjust the message, improve the clarity, and try again. Silence is not a rejection of you. Silence is a signal about the message, the timing, or the place. Use it to learn, not to quit. Use sensory detail to test your work. Read your post out loud. Notice how the words sound. Record a short clip and notice how your voice feels when you speak that idea. Does it feel natural or forced? Does your explanation require too many steps? People respond to messages that are easy to process. If you notice tension or confusion in your own hearing, then adjust. Be visually consistent. A clear photo, a simple profile image, a consistent headline, and a short bio that explains who you help and what you do will make you easier to remember. Visual consistency is not about style, it is about recognizability. When people can match a face to a message, they are more likely to remember and recommend you. Invite introductions rather than asking for work. A direct request for help can feel heavy, but a request for an introduction is specific and easier to act on. When you message someone, say who you want to meet, why, and what you hope to offer. Make it simple for the person to forward your message. A short note that includes the name, the reason, and a single ask is easier to pass along than a long, unclear message. Create a short pitch that captures the essence of your work. This is not a script to memorize and recite robotically. It is a short, honest explanation you can give in one breath when someone asks what you do. Practice it until it feels natural. When your answer is clear, people can pass it on with confidence. Track the impact of your visibility. Keep a simple list of who reached out, what responses you got, and what came of each contact. Over time, you will see patterns. You will learn what kinds of posts attract partners, what kinds attract clients, and what kinds simply inform. Use this data to focus your effort on the actions that produce the most return. Share wins and share the path to the win. When something goes right, explain the steps you took and the small mistakes you made along the way. People are attracted to authentic progress. When they can see the process, they are more likely to trust your next effort. Protect your energy while you share. Visibility requires presence. Sleep well, eat decent food, and keep small habits that maintain your voice and focus. If you are drained, your work will reflect that. Opportunities are not only drawn to skill but to energy. People choose to work with those who bring steady energy and clear presence. Keep your tone humble and confident at the same time. Humble means open to learning and grateful for help. Confident means you own what you produce and stand behind it. These two states together make you approachable and credible. People want to work with people who are real and reliable. Set realistic expectations about speed. Visibility builds relationships. Relationships take time. Commit to the long game. That does not mean wait and do nothing. It means do something consistent and be patient while you test what works. With time, your consistent, visible actions compound into opportunities. Use concrete calls to action. When you share, ask for a specific next step. Ask someone to comment, to sign up, to share feedback, or to introduce you to one person in their network. A clear ask increases the chance someone will act. Practice saying yes to small invitations that come from your visibility. When someone offers to meet briefly or to be on a call, say yes and prepare a short agenda. Small meetings can lead to larger opportunities when handled well. Prepare simple questions to guide the conversation and leave time to ask about the other person. People remember those who show curiosity about them. Finally, cultivate the inner discipline to continue when results lag. The habit of sharing is not glamorous. It can feel small and repetitive. That is normal. The most successful people in any field practice small, visible actions regularly and adapt over time. Take pride in the process more than the immediate applause. Start now with one clear piece of work. Share it where the right people will see it. Ask for a simple reaction and schedule a follow-up. Notice how the act changes your confidence, your network, and your momentum. Visibility is a habit you build by doing, not by waiting. Keep your language simple, your offers useful, and your actions consistent. Opportunity will not magically find you, but the people who can offer opportunity will notice you when you choose to show up and present your work plainly and honestly. Keep going and keep sharing. Chapter 2. Say yes to events that expand your social circle. Those words may sound simple, but they carry a power that can shape your future. Every new chance to meet people is a doorway to growth. Each gathering of people has within it the possibility of connection that could change the direction of your life. When you say yes to events, you give yourself permission to be seen and to discover who might be waiting for you on the other side of that room or that conversation. Opportunities are carried by people. They rarely arrive by themselves. When someone hears about an opening or a project or an idea, they think of the people they know who could fit. If you want your name to be in those thoughts, you need to be present in their circle of memory. Being visible at events makes you more than a name on a page. It makes you real. It lets people attach a voice, a face, a gesture to who you are. Human beings trust who they know. By saying yes to events, you increase the chances that people will know you enough to trust you. Many people stay home because of fear or discomfort. They imagine they need to be perfect at networking or that they must always have something impressive to say. That is not true. Growth comes from showing up with a willingness to connect and learn. You do not have to control every moment. You only need to be open to being part of the room. The courage to step into a space where new people gather is itself a signal of strength. Others notice it. They respect it because deep down, many share the same hesitation. Think of how you feel when you meet someone who looks at you with genuine interest. You feel recognized. You feel valued. You remember that person. This is the effect you can create when you attend events. You may not leave with a job or a contract that day, but you leave with impressions planted in the minds of others. Over time, those impressions turn into opportunities when someone recalls you as the person who listened with attention or who asked a thoughtful question. Saying yes to events is not about chasing popularity. It is about building bridges. Each event is a chance to put another stone in the path that leads from isolation to connection. Some stones may not seem important right away, but later you realize they held the path together. One coffee meeting leads to another invitation. One local workshop leads to an introduction. One seminar opens a door to a future partner. None of this happens if you always say no. To live this habit, you must treat events as practice grounds, not performances. You do not have to impress everyone. You are there to connect with a few. If there are 100 people in a room, you do not need to meet them all. Meet 3. Have 3 meaningful conversations. Leave knowing 3 more people than you did yesterday. That is progress. It is enough. Over time, these small additions multiply into a powerful network. When you attend an event, go with clear intention. Decide ahead of time what you hope to give and what you hope to learn. Maybe you want to learn about a new industry. Maybe you want to practice speaking with confidence. Maybe you want to offer your experience to someone who needs it. An event gives you a setting to achieve those goals. Going without intention leaves you wandering, but going with intention gives you purpose and focus. Human psychology shows that people trust familiarity. The more often someone sees you, the more they feel they know you. This is called the exposure effect. Each event you attend increases the number of times people encounter your presence. Even short casual conversations build into recognition. Over time, this recognition turns into trust. Trust turns into recommendations. Recommendations bring opportunities. That is the chain that begins with simply saying yes. When you are at an event, listen more than you speak. Ask people about their story, where they started, what they are working on, what excites them now. Let them speak and show real attention. People remember the ones who let them feel important. You do not need to dominate a conversation to make an impression. Listening with genuine care leaves a mark that lasts longer than any sales pitch. Practice small social risks at each event. Introduce yourself to someone standing alone. Walk up to a group and ask to join the discussion. Offer a compliment about something specific, such as a presentation or a question they asked. These small acts of courage train your social muscle. Each time you do it, you feel stronger. Confidence grows by action, not by waiting. When you attend events, look for opportunities to contribute. Volunteer to help with registration or to assist a speaker. Offer to connect 2 people who could benefit from knowing each other. Small acts of service create goodwill. People notice those who contribute. They feel respect for those who add value without expecting immediate return. Service plants seeds that grow into trust and friendship. Remember that not every event will bring obvious results. Some will feel ordinary, some will feel slow. But even in those moments, you are training yourself to show up. Discipline is built by doing things consistently, even when the reward is not immediate. Later, you will see how small, unnoticed connections grow into major turning points. Saying yes to events is also about variety. Attend both professional gatherings and personal interest groups. Go to workshops, seminars, cultural events, volunteer meetups. Each setting brings different types of people and different ways to connect. The wider your exposure, the more diverse your circle becomes. Diversity of connections brings diversity of opportunities. Someone outside your field may open the door to your greatest growth. Do not underestimate the power of being remembered for kindness. When you meet people, treat them with respect regardless of their position. Speak politely to everyone, from organizers to speakers to participants. Years later, the person you greeted with warmth may hold a role of influence. People remember how you made them feel more than the words you said. Kindness creates reputation. Reputation attracts opportunity. It is natural to feel tired or shy at times, but each time you say yes, you expand your comfort zone. What once felt intimidating becomes normal. What once drained your energy becomes easier. Growth is not instant, but gradual. With each event, you increase your capacity to handle new settings and larger circles. That personal growth is as valuable as the connections themselves. Think about how opportunities often arrive. Someone hears of a position and says, "I know someone who would fit." Someone needs a speaker and remembers the person they saw at an event. Someone looks for a partner and recalls the friendly face from a past seminar. That chain of memory exists only because you were present. Presence is power. Absence erases possibility. To make this habit real, create a personal rule. For example, decide you will attend 2 events every month outside your usual routine. Hold yourself accountable, mark them on your calendar, and commit. Over time, you will have attended dozens of gatherings you would have missed. Each one expands your reach and your potential. Social circles are living systems. They grow when you feed them with presence. They shrink when you withdraw. If you want to attract opportunity, you must keep feeding your circle with your attendance, your presence, your energy. People notice consistency. They come to expect you. When you are expected, you become part of the fabric of that community. From there, opportunities flow more naturally. Your social circle is not about quantity but quality. 10 genuine connections are stronger than 100 shallow ones, but you cannot build even 10 without showing up. Events give you the soil. You plant seeds through presence. You water them through follow-up. You grow them by showing care. Opportunity comes to those who cultivate, not just those who wait. At the end of the day, remember this truth. Doors are opened by people. People are found at events. Saying yes is the bridge between where you are and where you could be. It is the act of courage that tells life you are ready for more. Each event is an invitation to grow larger than your current circle and to make space for the opportunities waiting for you. Say yes and let those doors appear. This is the habit. Not just once, not just when it feels easy. Again and again. With discipline, with openness, with humility. Over time, the habit becomes part of who you are. You become the person who shows up. You become the person others look forward to seeing, and in that role, opportunities find you because they know where to look. Chapter 3. Offer help freely and let goodwill open new doors. This habit is simple in words, but powerful in practice. It is one of the surest ways to attract opportunity, because people are naturally drawn to those who contribute without demanding something in return. When you help others, you create energy that spreads. You leave people with a memory of kindness, of reliability, of someone who adds value. That memory does not fade quickly. In fact, it grows stronger each time someone remembers how you made their life easier, brighter, or lighter in a moment of need. Helping freely does not mean giving away everything you have or exhausting yourself to please others. It means noticing where you can make a difference and choosing to act. Often, it is not about grand gestures, but about small and consistent acts that show you care. Holding a door, sending a message to check in, offering to share knowledge, connecting someone with a resource, or giving encouragement when someone feels low. These small acts may seem minor, but for the person receiving them, they can be the spark that lifts their day, and that spark is remembered. People trust those who help without strings attached. They sense when kindness is genuine. When you help someone with the intention of giving, not calculating, you create trust. Trust is the foundation on which opportunities are built. Someone may not be able to return your help right away, but they will not forget. Months or even years later, that act can resurface in the form of a call, a recommendation, or an unexpected chance. Think about how human relationships grow. They grow on the exchange of value, but not in the sense of a strict trade. Relationships grow because people feel supported. When you support others, you make them feel safe. You make them feel that they matter. That feeling inspires loyalty. It inspires respect. And when someone respects you deeply, they will open doors for you when the moment arrives. Offer help freely also strengthens your own sense of worth. Every time you give, you reinforce the idea that you have something to offer. You remind yourself that you can make a difference. This builds confidence. It shifts your identity from waiting for opportunities to creating them through service. The more you practice giving, the more you begin to see opportunities you never noticed before, because your mind trains itself to look outward instead of inward. The psychology behind goodwill is powerful. People want to repay kindness. It is a natural human response. When you give without expecting, you trigger a sense of gratitude in others. Gratitude often turns into action. They think of you, they talk about you, they recommend you. You may not see it right away, but it happens in unseen ways. A friend tells another friend about you. A colleague shares your name in a meeting. A neighbor mentions your skills to someone in need. All of this stems from one habit: help freely, without calculation. When you practice this habit, you must also practice discernment. Helping freely does not mean being naive or letting people take advantage of you. It means offering value in ways that align with your abilities and boundaries. The best help is sustainable. It comes from a full cup, not from an empty one. So take care of yourself, maintain your energy, and then share it with others. That way your giving remains genuine and strong, not forced or resentful. Every environment you step into has needs. Look closely and you will see them. At work, someone struggles with a project. Share your perspective. In your community, someone lacks information. Point them to a resource. In your family, someone feels unseen. Give your full attention. These are chances to practice the habit. You do not need to search for opportunities to give. They are already around you. The difference is whether you choose to notice and act. One of the most effective ways to help is to connect people with each other. You may not have the answer to someone's problem, but you may know someone who does. Introductions are gifts. They cost little, but create large impact. When you connect people, you build goodwill with both sides. Both remember you as the bridge. Both carry gratitude for you, and bridges are remembered long after the introduction. Helping freely also means sharing knowledge. Many people hold on to what they know, fearing competition or scarcity. But knowledge grows when shared. When you teach someone how to solve a problem, you multiply the value of that knowledge. You also position yourself as someone who is generous and competent. People respect teachers. They return to those who help them grow, and in return, they often bring opportunities you could not have reached alone. Notice how you feel when you help. There is a deep satisfaction that comes from being useful. That feeling itself is a reward. It fuels your energy to keep contributing. It gives your days meaning, and meaning is one of the strongest motivators in life. When your life feels meaningful, you become more attractive to others. People sense purpose, they sense joy, and they want to be near it. That nearness leads to doors opening.
Sometimes the help you offer will not be recognized right away. You may not even get a thank you. Do not let that discourage you. Keep giving. The habit is not about instant recognition. It is about who you are becoming. Each act of help shapes your character. Each act strengthens your reputation. Over time you will be known as someone who lifts others, and that reputation is one of the strongest magnets for opportunity. Offer help freely also improves the way you see the world. When you look for ways to contribute, you shift your focus from problems to possibilities. Instead of asking what you can get, you ask what you can give. That simple shift changes your perspective. You start to notice more chances to engage, to connect, to grow. And by noticing more, you also attract more. Imagine walking into a room where no one knows you. You could try to impress them with your achievements, or you could simply ask who needs help and how you can serve. Which approach do you think leaves a stronger impression? The second one. People are more touched by those who care about their needs than by those who recite their accomplishments. By choosing to help, you make yourself memorable in the right way. It is important to remember that helping does not always require expertise. Sometimes the greatest help is encouragement. A kind word at the right moment can save someone's spirit. A reminder that they are capable can change their decision. Never underestimate the power of encouragement. People remember who stood by them when they doubted themselves. That memory shapes their loyalty for life. The doors that goodwill opens are not always obvious. They may not even look like doors at first. You may help someone today, and only later discover that they became a partner, a client, a mentor, or a friend who introduced you to others. The chain of cause and effect is long, but it always begins with one act of giving. By helping, you plant seeds. By continuing, you grow a field. Over time, this habit creates a cycle. You give, others feel gratitude. They give in return. You feel supported, and you are inspired to give more. This positive cycle strengthens your relationships and expands your circle of influence. And influence is what draws opportunities. People want to work with, learn from, and support those who carry goodwill in their presence. Even in competitive environments, the people who rise are often those who combine skill with generosity. Skills alone can get you noticed, but generosity keeps you remembered. People may respect your ability, but they love your willingness to help, and love carries more weight than respect alone. Every day offers a chance to practice this. Hold the door for someone rushing behind you. Share a resource with a colleague. Ask your neighbor if they need anything. Mentor someone just starting out. None of these actions require wealth or power. They only require awareness and willingness. Yet the return on these small investments is immeasurable. When you live this habit, you change the energy of the spaces you enter. People begin to relax around you. They sense that you are not there to compete, but to contribute. That energy makes you magnetic. People talk about you in positive ways. They share your name with others. They bring you into conversations. That is how opportunities begin. So take this habit seriously. Offer help freely. Do it not because you expect a reward, but because it is the right way to live. Trust that goodwill will carry you forward. Trust that each act of giving builds unseen bridges. Trust that by helping, you are making yourself into the kind of person that opportunity cannot resist. The world is full of people who keep their hands closed, protecting what little they have. Open your hands. Give freely. Share what you can. It may be time. It may be knowledge. It may be a listening ear. Whatever it is, offer it, and you will discover that the more you give, the more doors appear in front of you. Doors you never knew existed. Doors you could not have opened alone. Doors that lead to growth, success, and fulfillment. And each one begins with the choice to help without hesitation.
Chapter 4. Ask bold questions that start conversations with influential people. This is one of the most practical habits that attracts opportunity because influence is carried by those who have already walked the path you want to travel. Too many people stay silent in the presence of leaders, mentors, and decision-makers. They wait for the perfect moment or fear that they will look foolish.
Silence closes doors before they even appear. A bold question, asked with respect and genuine curiosity, can change everything. It shows that you are engaged, that you are willing to learn, and that you value their perspective. It is not about showing off how much you know. It is about showing that you are not afraid to reach out and begin a meaningful exchange. Influential people are approached often. They are used to hearing requests, flattery, or vague comments. What makes you stand out is not more praise or another favor request. What makes you stand out is a question that makes them stop and think. A question that shows you have done your homework, that you are interested in ideas, not just outcomes. When you craft such a question, you make them want to respond, and when they respond, you have created a bridge to further dialogue. That is the beginning of opportunity. Asking bold questions requires courage, because it forces you to risk rejection. The fear of rejection keeps most people quiet. They think, what if my question sounds silly? What if they ignore me? What if they dismiss me? The truth is, the only real mistake is not asking. If you ask and they choose not to answer, you are no worse off than before. But if they answer, even briefly, you gain something priceless: their attention. And once you have their attention, the possibility of deeper connection is alive. A bold question does not mean a rude or careless one. Boldness is not arrogance. Boldness is clarity. A bold question is one that cuts through surface talk and invites depth. For example, instead of asking someone how they became successful, you might ask them what decision they made early on that changed the direction of their life. Instead of asking them what advice they have, you might ask them what advice they would ignore if they had to start over. These questions invite reflection. They create respect because they show thought. When you ask bold questions, you also demonstrate confidence in yourself. You show that you believe your voice deserves to be heard in the same space as theirs. That confidence, even if you feel nervous inside, signals strength. Influential people notice strength. They are drawn to those who are willing to stand and speak. They know the courage it takes because they once had to do the same. The setting matters less than the intent. You can ask bold questions in a seminar, in a small meeting, in a casual social event, or even online through a message or comment. What matters is that you choose to step forward rather than step back. Too many opportunities are lost because people tell themselves it is not the right time. The right time rarely announces itself. The right time is the moment you choose to ask. Influential people are human beings. They carry experiences, lessons, and stories that they rarely get to share because most people do not bother to ask real questions. When you ask with sincerity, you give them a gift. You allow them to reflect, to pass on wisdom, to feel heard in their own right. That creates goodwill, and goodwill is the soil where opportunities grow. When you prepare to ask a question, focus on relevance. A question that connects to their work, their journey, or their values will always be more powerful than a general one. It shows that you are paying attention. It shows that you respect their time enough to come prepared. Preparation separates you from the majority. Even one thoughtful line can make a difference. Asking bold questions also builds your own growth. The answers you receive may shape your choices, open your mind, or save you from mistake. But even beyond the answers, the act itself strengthens you. Each time you push through the hesitation and ask, you prove to yourself that you are capable of engaging at higher levels. That proof compounds. It becomes part of your identity. Do not underestimate the impact a single exchange can have. Many careers have shifted because one bold question started a conversation that led to mentorship, collaboration, or partnership. You may think it is just a question, but for the other person, it may be the signal that you are worth investing in. People invest in those who show initiative, A bold question is initiative in action. When you speak, keep your tone respectful and steady. Do not rush or apologize. Do not shrink your voice. Deliver your question as if it deserves space, because it does. People respond not just to words, but to presence. When your presence carries calm conviction, they listen more closely. Even if you are nervous, slow your breathing and speak clearly. That small discipline will set you apart. If the person answers, listen deeply. Do not interrupt. Do not prepare your next line while they are speaking. Give them your full attention. Influential people notice when they are actually being heard. That in itself is rare. When they feel heard, they are more likely to continue the conversation, to share more, to remember you. Listening is as powerful as asking. Follow-up is another key. If you meet someone and ask a bold question, later send a short note of gratitude. Mention what you learned or how you applied it. This is how a single moment becomes a lasting impression. Without follow-up, the memory fades. With follow-up, you anchor the interaction. Influential people respect those who show appreciation and action. You may wonder, what if I am not ready? What if I have nothing to offer them in return? What you offer is your curiosity, your willingness to grow, your respect. That is enough. Over time, as you apply what you learn, you will gain more to give back. Relationships are not built in one day. They are built through repeated moments of exchange. The bold question is simply the beginning. Think also of the psychology of opportunity. People in positions of influence often look for fresh energy. For individuals who are hungry to learn and willing to take risks. When you ask boldly, you show hunger and courage. You set yourself apart from the passive majority. Passivity attracts little. Initiative attracts much. Your bold questions can also inspire others around you. When you raise your hand or speak up, you give silent permission to others who wish they could do the same. You become an example in that moment. Leadership begins not when you have a title, but when you take initiative that others admire. Asking boldly is one such act. Over time you will learn to shape better questions. At first you may stumble or feel awkward. That is fine. Growth comes through practice. The more you try, the better you become at sensing what sparks meaningful dialogue. Do not fear mistakes. A clumsy question is still better than silence. Silence leaves no memory. Even an imperfect attempt leaves a mark. Always remember that influential people were once beginners. They know the journey of uncertainty. They know the value of those who are willing to reach out. Many are more open than you realize. They may not have time for everyone, but they often respect those who show genuine interest and courage. You do not have to wait for grand stages to practice this habit. You can start small in your daily life. Ask your manager about the principles behind a decision. Ask a speaker after a talk what shaped their career most. Ask a community leader how they handle setbacks. Ask in a way that invites depth. Practice in smaller settings, so you are ready when bigger chances arrive. This habit changes how you view influential people. Instead of seeing them as unreachable, you begin to see them as potential guides. Instead of feeling intimidated, you feel curious. That shift is liberating. It frees you from the chains of hesitation. It positions you to step into spaces where opportunities live. The doors that open from bold questions may not be immediate, but they are real. One answer may lead you to a new way of thinking. One follow-up may turn into a coffee meeting. One coffee meeting may turn into collaboration. The path is unpredictable, but it is always richer than silence. Your voice is your tool. Use it. Do not wait until you feel ready. You will never feel fully ready. Readiness is created by action. Each bold question you ask builds readiness for the next. Step into the discomfort, and you will find that discomfort shrinks over time. What matters most is not crafting the perfect words, but showing the courage to speak. Influential people will forget flawless phrases, but they will remember courage. They will remember authenticity. They will remember you. So embrace this habit with full heart. Ask boldly. Respect those you engage with, but do not shrink from them. Start conversations that matter. Let your curiosity lead. Let your courage carry you forward. In doing so, you will discover that every bold question is more than words. It is a key, and keys, when used with intention, open doors you never knew were waiting for you.
Chapter 5. Show reliability so others trust you with bigger chances. Show reliability so others trust you with bigger chances. Reliability is one of the most powerful currencies you can build in life, because it gives people confidence to place responsibility in your hands. When people know you will do what you say, when they know you will deliver without excuses, you immediately separate yourself from the crowd. Many individuals are talented, many have big ideas, but few are reliable. Talent without reliability creates frustration. Reliability, even with modest talent, creates trust. And trust is what unlocks bigger chances, bigger projects, and bigger responsibilities. Reliability is not about perfection. It is not about never making mistakes. Everyone stumbles, everyone faces setbacks. Reliability is about consistency. It is about creating a pattern of behavior that people can count on. When you commit to something, you follow through. When you face an obstacle, you communicate clearly. When you cannot meet a deadline, you inform in advance instead of surprising others at the last moment. This consistency builds a reputation that becomes more valuable than almost any other trait. Think about the relief you feel when you work with someone reliable. You do not have to worry. You do not have to chase them for updates. You can focus on your own role, knowing they will handle theirs. That relief is worth more than skill alone. People want to work with those who ease their burden, not add to it. If you become that kind of person, opportunities will flow to you, because you represent certainty in a world filled with uncertainty. Reliability shows up in small actions: arriving on time, meeting commitments, keeping promises, following up when you say you will, returning calls and messages promptly. These may look like minor details, but they are the foundation of your reputation. Every missed promise, every late delivery, every ignored message chips away at trust. Every fulfilled promise, every on-time delivery, every clear update builds it stronger. Over time, the weight of these actions defines who you are in the eyes of others. One of the greatest benefits of reliability is that it reduces doubt. Doubt is costly in relationships, teams, and opportunities. If people doubt you, they hesitate to involve you. If they doubt your word, they question every promise you make. But if they know you are reliable, they do not waste energy worrying. They act with confidence. They give you bigger chances because they know you will protect their trust. Reliability also builds self-respect. When you follow through on your word, you begin to trust yourself more deeply. You know that you are capable of doing what you said. That self-trust increases your confidence. It makes you more willing to accept larger challenges because you have proof, through your own actions, that you can deliver. Opportunity requires self-belief, and reliability creates it through practice. One challenge people face is overcommitting. They want to say yes to everything, and in doing so, they end up delivering poorly or failing to meet expectations. Reliability is not about saying yes to everything. It is about saying yes to what you can genuinely handle, and then delivering fully on it. A smaller number of fulfilled commitments is far more powerful than a large number of broken promises. Reliability grows when you respect your own limits and communicate them honestly. People notice patterns quickly. If you consistently follow through, they remember. If you consistently make excuses, they remember that too. The mind builds shortcuts. This person delivers. This person does not. You want your name to be linked with the first shortcut. That reputation follows you into rooms you have not yet entered. People talk about who is reliable and who is not. Decisions about who gets the next chance are often made based on those conversations when you are not even present.
Reliability is also about communication. Sometimes circumstances change. Sometimes a deadline cannot be met. The reliable person does not wait until the last minute or hide the truth. They communicate early. They explain clearly, and they propose solutions. This openness preserves trust even when things go wrong. Others see that you respect them enough to keep them informed. That respect strengthens the relationship rather than breaking it. The habit of reliability extends to every part of life, not just professional settings. In friendships, in family, in community, reliability creates bonds. If you are the person who shows up when you said you would, who does what you promised, who can be counted on during difficult times, you will attract deeper trust from those around you. Trust in one area carries into others. A reliable friend is often trusted with professional opportunity. A reliable colleague is often welcomed as a friend. Reliability blurs the lines because it touches everything. Reliability builds leadership. People follow those they can count on. If you want to lead, you must first prove you are dependable. Leadership is not about titles, it is about influence. And influence grows when people know you will deliver on your commitments. They feel safe following someone reliable. They may admire charisma or vision, but they follow reliability. That is what allows teams to function, projects to succeed, and opportunities to multiply. Consider the psychological comfort reliability creates. Human beings crave certainty. The world is full of chaos and unpredictability. A reliable person becomes an anchor in that storm. People want to hold on to anchors. They want to bring them into their plan. This is why reliability attracts opportunity, because everyone needs someone steady in their corner. Reliability requires discipline. It is not always exciting. It often means doing the work even when motivation fades. It means honoring your commitments, even when no one is watching. It means keeping promises you made to yourself, not just to others. This discipline is hard, but it is rare. And because it is rare, it is valuable. If you practice it daily, you will stand out in any crowd. You can build reliability by creating systems. Use calendars, reminders, and checklists to manage your commitments. Do not rely on memory alone. Reliability is not about superhuman ability. It is about consistent habits. Write things down, track progress, review deadlines regularly. Small organizational habits prevent big failure. The most reliable people are not necessarily the most talented, but they are often the most organized. Another part of reliability is honesty. Do not exaggerate your ability to deliver. Do not promise results you cannot realistically achieve. Reliability is not built on fake promises. It is built on honest ones. When you speak truthfully about what you can do, and then you do it, trust grows naturally. Reliability also requires resilience. There will be setbacks. There will be times when things go wrong. Reliability is not about avoiding failure. It is about responding to failure with integrity. Own mistakes, fix what you can, learn and move forward. People respect those who take responsibility. They lose trust in those who blame or hide. Each response to a setback is a chance to prove your reliability again. Think about the long game. Reliability compounds. The more consistently you prove yourself, the more doors open. Early on, the chances may be small. You may be trusted with minor tasks. If you deliver on those, you will be trusted with larger ones. Each fulfilled commitment raises the level of responsibility you are given. Bigger chances are reserved for those who proved themselves on smaller ones. This ladder of trust only works if you are consistent. In competitive environments, reliability is a quiet advantage. Others may compete with flash or charm, but reliability wins over time. People eventually grow tired of broken promises and excuses. They remember who delivered consistently, even without fanfare. That person becomes the safe choice, the trusted choice, the one who is invited again and again. Reliability also attracts mentors. Influential people are more likely to invest in someone they see as dependable. They may forgive lack of experience, but they rarely forgive unreliability. If they know you will follow through on their guidance, they will share more with you. Mentorship thrives on trust, and reliability is the foundation of that trust. Make reliability part of your identity. Tell yourself, I am the kind of person who does what I say. Live that identity every day. Each fulfilled promise strengthens it. Each act of discipline reinforces it. Over time, it becomes second nature. Others will describe you in those terms without you ever asking. Your reputation will speak louder than your words. Opportunities do not always go to the most talented, they go to the most trusted. Talent may get you noticed once, but reliability keeps you invited. Bigger chances are given to those who protect the trust of others. Protect that trust like it is gold, because it is. Once broken, it is hard to repair. Once earned, it can open doors for the rest of your life. So build this habit with care and consistency. Deliver on small tasks. Communicate clearly. Respect deadlines. Protect promises. Each of these actions may seem ordinary, but together they create something extraordinary. A reputation of reliability. And with that reputation, others will hand you bigger chances, because they know you will not let them down. That is how reliability attracts opportunity. And that is how you build a life filled with doors that open wider each time you step through them.
Chapter 6. Stay curious and explore ideas outside your daily routine. This is one of the strongest habits that keeps opportunities flowing toward you, because curiosity expands your world while routine narrows it. Routine is comfortable, but comfort does not create new possibilities. When you live every day repeating the same tasks in the same order, with the same thoughts, you create a cage around yourself. That cage feels safe, but it blocks discovery. Curiosity is the tool that breaks the cage. By asking questions, by trying new experiences, by exploring unfamiliar ideas, you create more openings for growth, and each opening is a potential doorway to opportunity. Curiosity is not about becoming restless or rejecting structure. It is about looking beyond what you already know. Every person you meet, every book you open, every conversation you start, can carry knowledge or insight that shifts your path. But you only gain that if you remain curious enough to ask and explore. Children embody curiosity naturally. They question everything. They poke at the world. They want to see what happens if they try something new. Somewhere in adulthood, many lose this spark. They replace curiosity with certainty. Certainty feels solid, but it is often a false security. What actually secures your future is your ability to keep learning and adapting, and curiosity is the root of that ability. Exploring ideas outside your daily routine stretches your thinking. You may be in business, but you can learn from art. You may be in technology, but you can learn from history. You may be in teaching, but you can learn from science. When you reach outside your field, you gain fresh perspectives. Those perspectives make you more creative, more resourceful, and more capable of seeing solutions others overlook. Innovation often comes not from doing more of the same, but from connecting dots between different worlds. Curiosity leads you to those dots. Being curious also keeps your mind alive. You have met people who feel stuck, who seem to have stopped growing long ago. Their conversations sound repetitive, their outlook narrow. That is what happens when curiosity dies. But then you meet people, regardless of age, who seem vibrant, full of life. They are always exploring something new, asking questions, chasing ideas. That energy is magnetic. People are drawn to those who radiate curiosity because they make the world feel bigger and more exciting. And when people are drawn to you, opportunities naturally follow. Curiosity requires humility. To explore new ideas, you must admit that you do not know everything. You must release the pride that clings to old knowledge. You must be willing to look foolish, to ask questions others may be too afraid to ask, to admit gaps in your understanding. Humility does not weaken you,
It strengthens you because it keeps you learning, and learning is what ensures you remain relevant no matter how the world changes. Exploring ideas outside your routine also means seeking experiences. Attend events you normally would not. Try hobbies you have never touched. Travel to places outside your usual routes. Engage with people who live differently than you. Each time you step beyond your usual circle, you add new layers of understanding. These layers give you depth. Depth attracts respect. People sense when you have a wide view of the world, and they want to connect with that perspective. Curiosity is also about listening. Too often people enter conversations, waiting only to speak. The curious person listens deeply, not to respond but to learn. Every person carries lessons from their life. If you are curious enough, you can learn something from everyone you meet. That habit of listening not only expands your knowledge, but also builds stronger relationships, because people feel valued when you take interest in them, and strong relationships are the soil in which opportunities grow. Exploring beyond your routine creates flexibility. Life is unpredictable. Entire industries shift, technology advances, economies change. If your mind is rigid, if you cling only to what you already know, you risk being left behind. But if you remain curious, you adapt, you explore new options. You see possibilities where others see walls. That adaptability is why opportunities find curious people. They are ready to adjust and seize them when they appear. Curiosity is practical. You do not have to chase random distractions all day. You can practice it by building small habits into your life. Read 10 pages of a book outside your field. Watch a documentary on a subject you know little about. Take a class in something unrelated to your job. Visit a museum, a library, or even a different part of your city. Try food you have never eaten. Ask someone about their culture, their childhood, their way of thinking. These small actions build a mind that is always expanding. Routine makes you efficient, but curiosity makes you effective. Efficiency means doing the same things faster. Effectiveness means doing the right things at the right time. Curiosity ensures that you keep finding better options, instead of repeating old ones. If you balance routine with curiosity, you have the best of both worlds. You can execute daily tasks with discipline, while also growing your vision for the future. Curiosity also sparks creativity. Many of the greatest ideas in history came from people who combined unrelated concepts into something new. They asked, "What if?" They wondered, they experimented, they explored. By allowing yourself to explore, you give your brain new material to work with. You create mental connections that lead to insights others miss. This creativity becomes one of your most valuable assets, because opportunities often come to those who can see solutions before others. Another benefit of curiosity is joy. Life feels richer when you keep exploring. Days do not blur into monotony, because each day carries something to learn. Even small discoveries, a new word, a new taste, a new perspective, bring freshness. That freshness fuels motivation. People sense when you are alive with curiosity. They sense the spark in your voice, the light in your eyes. That energy makes them want to bring you into their world. Curiosity requires courage. It means leaving the comfort of the familiar. It means stepping into situations where you may feel unprepared or uncertain. But growth never happens in complete comfort. When you challenge yourself to explore, you gain courage each time. Soon the unknown becomes less intimidating. You start to welcome it. That mindset makes you stand out. Because many people run from the unknown, you instead walk toward it, and that makes you someone worth investing in. Exploring ideas outside your routine also prevents stagnation in your career. Many people plateau not because they lack skill, but because they stop learning. They become specialists, locked in one way of thinking. The world rewards specialists, but it rewards even more those who combine deep knowledge with curiosity about other fields. That combination makes you adaptable and resilient. Employers, partners, and clients notice when you bring fresh ideas from outside the box. That edge is born from curiosity. Curiosity improves problem solving. When you face challenges, a narrow mind sees only limited solutions. A curious mind has more tools to draw from, because you have explored different perspectives. You can approach problems from multiple angles. This flexibility not only helps you solve your own challenges, but also makes you valuable to others. People will seek you out because they know you can see what others miss. And when people seek you out, they bring opportunities with them. Staying curious also fights fear. Fear thrives in the unknown, but curiosity replaces fear with interest. Instead of seeing the unknown as a threat, you begin to see it as an adventure. This mindset reduces hesitation and increases action. The more curious you are, the less paralyzed you become by uncertainty. That freedom allows you to seize chances quickly, while others are still frozen by fear. You can practice curiosity with questions. Ask yourself, what is one thing I have never tried? What is one idea outside my field that could apply to my work? Who can teach me something today? What is one place I have never been? These questions guide your actions. Each answer leads you to a new path, and each path brings you closer to opportunities you could not see before. It is important to protect curiosity from cynicism. Cynicism closes doors because it assumes there is nothing new to learn, nothing worth exploring. Curiosity opens doors because it assumes there is always more to discover. You choose which lens to live with. If you choose curiosity, life keeps expanding. If you choose cynicism, life keeps shrinking. Choose the one that brings growth. Over time, staying curious creates momentum. The more you explore, the more connections you make. The more connections you make, the more opportunities appear. One idea leads to another, one meeting leads to another, one experiment leads to another. This chain reaction begins with the decision to step outside your routine and ask, what else is out there? Opportunities rarely come to those who sit still within the walls of their habits. They come to those who venture outside, who test new waters, who remain students even after years of experience. If you carry curiosity as a habit, you will never run out of chances to grow. You will always be discovering, always adapting, always attracting new possibilities. Stay curious, explore ideas beyond what you already know. Step outside the path you walk every day. Learn from people unlike yourself. Read things outside your comfort zone. Visit places that make you think differently. Each act of curiosity adds to who you are, and the more you grow, the more the world responds by sending you opportunities fit for the person you are becoming. This is how curiosity keeps doors opening, and this is how your life keeps expanding, as long as you choose to keep exploring.
Chapter 7. Follow up quickly and keep momentum alive with people. This habit can decide whether a connection fades away or grows into something meaningful. Too many opportunities are lost, not because of lack of talent or ability, but because people fail to continue the conversation after the first meeting. A spark without fuel dies quickly, and human relationships work the same way. When you meet someone, have a good exchange, or share an idea, the follow-up is what keeps the energy alive. Without it, even the best first impression slips from memory. Following up shows interest, respect, and seriousness. It signals that you value the connection enough to take action while the interaction is still fresh. Quick follow-up matters because time changes perception. Wait too long, and the moment loses its weight.
The other person forgets details, or worse, assumes you were not truly interested. When you follow up promptly, you reinforce the memory and strengthen the impression you left. You tell the other person without words that you are reliable, that you are proactive, and that you understand the value of their time. This alone sets you apart, because most people never follow through. They say it was nice meeting you, but they never write, never call, never reconnect. You can stand out by simply doing what others neglect. Momentum is powerful in relationships. When energy is high, when enthusiasm is fresh, actions flow easily. Each step feels natural. But if you let too much time pass, momentum fades. What once felt exciting becomes distant, and picking it up again feels harder. That is why your job is to keep momentum alive. Send the message, make the call, set the meeting, share the article, thank them for their time, or remind them of the idea you discussed. These simple actions are the fuel that keeps the spark glowing. Without them, nothing grows. With them, conversations deepen, trust builds, and opportunities emerge. Following up quickly is not only about politeness. It is a strategy for building stronger relationships. People are busy. Their attention is scattered. If you want to stand out, you must act before distraction pulls them away. A quick message cuts through the noise because it arrives while they still remember your face, your voice, and your words. That speed makes you memorable. It also demonstrates initiative, which is one of the most respected traits in any setting. Influential people, employers and partners notice initiative because it is rare. The psychology behind this is simple. People value those who value. When you follow up, you show that their time mattered. You show that you listened and that you care enough to continue the connection. That small signal can turn an acquaintance into an ally. It can turn a short exchange into a partnership. It can turn a casual introduction into a door opening years down the road. All of it begins with one decision: to follow up quickly. The speed of your follow-up also communicates your level of seriousness. If you wait weeks to reach out, you send a message of low priority. If you reach out within a day or two, you send a message of high importance. People notice the difference. They feel it. They sense whether they are at the top of your mind or at the bottom of your list. By following up quickly, you let them know they are important, and people naturally respond better when they feel valued. Momentum thrives on clarity. A vague follow-up feels weak, but a clear one drives action. Instead of saying, "It was great talking to you," you can say, "I enjoyed our conversation about leadership yesterday, and I would love to schedule a coffee to continue." Instead of saying, "Let's stay in touch," you can say, "I will send you an article we discussed by the end of today." Clarity creates movement, and movement keeps momentum alive. Another element of strong follow-up is personalization. Avoid generic lines. Mention something specific from your conversation. Recall a detail that shows you were paying attention. Personalization turns a cold follow-up into a warm one. It shows you were not simply collecting contacts, but actually engaging with the person. People respond to being remembered. They feel seen when you bring up something unique to them. That feeling makes them more open to future interaction. Momentum is not only about speed and personalization. It is also about consistency. Following up once may open the door, but consistency keeps it open. This does not mean sending endless messages or forcing interaction. It means showing up at steady intervals, sharing useful insights, checking in with genuine interest, and being present in ways that do not feel forced. When you nurture the connection over time, it grows stronger naturally. Opportunities flow from strong relationships, and strong relationships are built through consistent attention. Another way to keep momentum alive is to add value with your follow-up. Do not only thank people, share something useful with them. Send them a resource, an article, a tool, or a contact that relates to your conversation. This shifts the relationship from one-sided to mutual. It shows that you are not simply seeking but also giving. People remember those who add value. They are far more likely to continue engaging with you when they feel the connection benefits them as well. Momentum requires sensitivity. You must be mindful of timing and tone. Too much follow-up can feel like pressure. Too little follow-up can feel like neglect. The balance comes from being attentive to their responses. If they respond warmly, continue with energy. If they respond briefly, give space and return later with something new to share. Respect is the foundation. Momentum without respect becomes pushiness, but momentum with respect becomes relationship. Quick follow-up also demonstrates discipline. Most people intend to follow up but procrastinate. They wait for the perfect words or the perfect time. In waiting, they lose the charm. Discipline is not about waiting for perfection, but about acting promptly with sincerity. Even a simple message sent quickly is more powerful than a long message sent too late. The key is action, not polish. Momentum also benefits you. When you follow up quickly, you do not give doubt the chance to creep in. You do not overthink or talk yourself out of it. You act, and that action reinforces your confidence. Each time you do it, you train yourself to move forward instead of hesitating. This training builds momentum in your own life, not just in relationships. You begin to live with speed and decisiveness, which attracts more chances. Another benefit of follow-up is accountability. When you promise to do something during a conversation, following up quickly proves your reliability. It shows you are a person of your word. That accountability strengthens trust. Trust is the foundation of opportunity. Without trust, doors stay closed. With trust, doors open wider than you imagined. Momentum keeps doors from closing prematurely. Imagine meeting someone at an event, having a strong exchange, and then disappearing for months. By the time you return, the door may already be closed. But if you follow up quickly, you keep that door open and widen it through ongoing interaction. The difference between a closed door and an open one is often just the decision to act sooner rather than later. You can make follow-up a habit by creating simple systems. After every meeting, write down key details, set a reminder, and send a message within 24 hours. Keep a list of contacts and review it weekly. Mark the ones you have not connected with recently. This system prevents relationships from slipping away. Reliability in follow-up makes you stand out, because few people take this level of care. Momentum is not built in grand gestures. It is built in small, consistent steps. A quick thank you, a useful link, a short call, a thoughtful check-in. These small acts compound over time. They build strong networks filled with trust and goodwill. When opportunities arise, people naturally think of those who stayed connected, not those who disappeared. Remember also that following up quickly is a sign of respect for yourself. You are signaling that your goals matter, that your connections matter, that your future matters. Each quick action is a vote for your own seriousness, and seriousness attracts opportunity because it shows you are ready for bigger responsibilities. Relationships are living. They require care. If you plant a seed and never water it, it dies. If you water it too much, it drowns. If you water it regularly, it grows strong. Follow-up is the watering of relationships. It is the steady nourishment that keeps them alive and growing. Without it, connections fade into the background. With it, they expand into possibilities you could not predict. So embrace this habit fully. Follow up quickly while the moment is alive. Personalize your message, add value, and maintain consistency. Respect timing, listen carefully, and act with sincerity. Keep the momentum alive, not only for others, but also for yourself. The habit may feel small, but its impact is massive. Most doors do not close because of lack of ability, but because of lack of follow-through. Make yourself the exception. Be the one who follows up quickly, who keeps energy alive, who builds connections that last. And when bigger opportunities appear, you will already be in motion, ready to receive them.
Chapter 8. Express gratitude often and make others feel appreciated. This habit transforms how people see you and how opportunities come toward you. Gratitude is more than good manners. It is a recognition of value, a way of saying to others that what they did mattered, that their effort, time, or presence was not invisible. People crave acknowledgement. They want to feel that what they contribute is noticed. When you practice gratitude consistently, you satisfy that human need, and in return, you create relationships built on warmth, trust, and loyalty. Opportunities are carried on the strength of those relationships, and gratitude strengthens them every time you express it. Gratitude is powerful because it shifts attention away from what is missing and onto what is present. Most people spend their lives focused on what they do not have, on what is wrong, on who failed them. They rarely pause to notice the countless ways others have already supported them. That mindset drains energy and creates disconnection. Gratitude reverses that. It trains you to notice what is good, who is helping, and where progress is being made. When you notice these things, your attitude changes. And when your attitude changes, people notice it in the way you speak and the way you treat them. Expressing gratitude often is not about waiting for big moments. It is about recognizing the small things. A colleague stays late to help on a project. A friend listens when you are stressed. A mentor gives you one piece of advice. A stranger holds the door or smiles when you needed it. Each of these deserves recognition. When you express it, you create connection. When you stay silent, the moment passes, and the other person may feel unappreciated. A simple thank you said sincerely and specifically carries weight that far exceeds the effort it takes to say it. Appreciation is also about detail. A generic thanks is polite, but a specific acknowledgement is powerful. Saying thank you for staying late yesterday to help me finish, or I really appreciate the way you explained that problem clearly, shows attention. It proves you noticed more than the surface. Specificity makes people feel truly seen, and that kind of gratitude leaves a lasting memory. When you make others feel appreciated, you also raise their energy. People thrive on encouragement. Many go through their days unnoticed, working hard without anyone saying a word. Your gratitude can be the fuel that keeps them going. It can lift them out of discouragement and remind them that their efforts matter. This is why gratitude is not just about being kind, it is about being impactful. Your words of appreciation can literally change the way someone feels about themselves and their work. Expressing gratitude often also reshapes your own outlook. The more you practice it, the more you train your mind to find good things. Instead of walking through life blind to the support around you, you begin to notice more. That awareness makes you more positive, and positivity attracts people. They want to be around those who see the good, not those who constantly complain. Gratitude becomes part of your character, and opportunities are naturally drawn to character that uplifts others. People remember how you made them feel long after they forget what you said or did. When you make them feel appreciated, you create a memory tied to emotion. That emotional memory is powerful because it influences how they think of you in the future. When someone has to choose between two people for an opportunity, they will often choose the one who made them feel valued, even if the other was more skilled. Gratitude becomes a competitive advantage because it strengthens bonds in ways technical ability can. Gratitude also strengthens influence. Leaders who express appreciation build loyal teams. Friends who show gratitude build lasting bonds. Professionals who express it build networks that support them in times of need. Influence is not about authority. It is about the willingness of others to listen and respond to you. Gratitude creates that willingness. It signals humility. It signals respect. And people respond positively to those signals. Appreciation does not require elaborate speeches or expensive gifts. It requires sincerity. A handwritten note, a short message, a quick phone call, or a genuine compliment are enough. The key is to mean it. People can feel the difference between empty words and authentic gratitude.
Do not rush through it as if it were a formality. Pause, look them in the eye if possible, and speak from the heart. That pause is what makes your words land. Making others feel appreciated also means noticing effort, even when the outcome was not perfect. If someone tried their best and fell short, gratitude for their effort still matters. It tells them you value their commitment, not just the result. That encourages them to try again. Too many people only show gratitude when results are flawless, but the people who build strong relationships are those who show gratitude for the process as well. Practicing gratitude often helps you avoid entitlement. When you take others' efforts for granted, you send the message that you believe you are owed their support. Entitlement pushes people away. Gratitude pulls them close. Each time you thank someone, you remind yourself that their help was a choice, not a guarantee. That humility keeps you grounded and makes people more eager to continue supporting you. Gratitude also spreads. When you appreciate others openly, they are inspired to do the same. Your words may encourage someone else to express gratitude to their team, their family, or their friends. In this way, your habit creates a ripple effect that improves the culture around you. People want to be in environments where appreciation is common. When you create that environment, you attract more people to you, which brings more chances for growth. The act of gratitude is not limited to words. Actions show appreciation as well. Taking time to help someone who once helped you, offering support without being asked, remembering important dates, or simply being present when someone needs company. These are powerful demonstrations of gratitude. Words matter, but actions seal them. If you combine both, your appreciation becomes unforgettable. To make this habit consistent, you must be intentional. Set a goal each day to thank someone. At the end of each day, reflect on who you could appreciate. Send the message, make the call, or write the note. It takes minutes, but it changes relationships for years. With time, you will not need reminders. It will become natural. Gratitude will flow through your daily interactions without force. When you express gratitude, do not avoid phrases that diminish others by saying, "You are better than so-and-so." True gratitude is focused, not comparative. It is about recognizing one person's effort or value without dragging others into it. Pure gratitude uplifts without creating competition. This habit also works in difficult times. When you are stressed or overwhelmed, pausing to express gratitude shifts your mindset. It reminds you that even in challenge, support exists. It reminds you that you are not alone. Gratitude in hard times carries even more power because it shows resilience. People respect those who can still appreciate others while facing struggle. That respect deepens trust and strengthens connections. Appreciation has no limit. You cannot overuse it as long as it is sincere. The more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. Some worry that showing too much gratitude makes them look weak. In reality, it makes them look strong, because it takes strength to admit that others have helped you. Weakness hides, strength acknowledges. Gratitude is a sign of that strength. The opportunities that come from gratitude are often invisible at first. You may not see the doors opening right away, but months or years later, someone you once thanked may recommend you, support you, or remember your kindness when you least expect it. Gratitude builds bridges that last longer than you realize, bridges that connect you to places you could not have reached alone. The beauty of gratitude is that it benefits everyone. The giver feels uplifted, the receiver feels valued, the relationship grows stronger, the environment improves, and opportunities expand because goodwill attracts trust, and trust attracts chances. Every time you express gratitude, you create more of this cycle. So build this habit into who you are. Notice effort, speak appreciation, act with sincerity, make others feel important in your presence. Do it often, not occasionally. Gratitude should not be rare. It should be woven into your daily life. Each thank you is a seed, and those seeds grow into forests of opportunity. By practicing gratitude, you are not only making others feel appreciated, you are building a reputation that will bring opportunities to your door again and again. Chapter 9. Show courage by applying for opportunities before you feel ready. Show courage by applying for opportunities before you feel ready. This habit separates those who move forward in life from those who stay stuck, waiting for the perfect moment. The truth is that the perfect moment never comes. No one ever feels fully ready before a major step. Confidence does not come first and then action follows. Action comes first and confidence is built afterward. If you wait until every condition lines up, until you feel absolutely prepared, you will miss chance after chance. Life rewards those who take initiative even when they feel uncertain, even when doubt whispers in their ear, even when their skills are still growing. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is moving ahead despite fear. You may feel nervous before applying for a role, starting a project, or pitching an idea. That nervousness is natural. It is the body's way of signaling that something matters. Instead of treating it as a warning to stop, treat it as a reminder to go forward. The presence of fear means the opportunity is stretching you. Stretching is what leads to growth. If you only apply when you feel ready, you are not stretching. You are staying in the zone of comfort, and comfort never creates breakthroughs. Applying before you feel ready teaches you to trust your ability to learn. You may not have every skill listed in a job description, but you can learn quickly once inside. You may not have every answer before a big project, but you can figure it out step by step. Most opportunities are not about proving you are already perfect. They are about proving you are capable of growing into the role. Those who wait until they feel flawless rarely grow, because growth only happens when you step into something that challenges you beyond your current capacity. Think about times in your past when you felt unprepared, but acted anyway. Maybe it was your first time speaking in front of a group, your first day at a new job, or your first attempt at a skill. At the time you probably doubted yourself, yet you survived, you learned, and you became stronger. The same pattern repeats with bigger opportunity. The moment never feels smooth in the beginning, but your ability expands as you step into it. You look back later and realize you were more capable than you gave yourself credit for. The habit of applying early also shows others something powerful. Initiative. Employers, mentors and partners respect those who show up, even if they are still learning. They would rather invest in someone who is hungry and willing than someone who is overcautious and passive. When you apply before you feel ready, you communicate that you are not afraid of growth. You are not waiting for permission. You are willing to step up and take responsibility. That quality is rare, and because it is rare, it attracts opportunity. Opportunities often have hidden requirements. On the surface they may ask for certain skills or experiences, but underneath, what decision makers are really looking for is courage, resilience, and adaptability. They know that anyone who takes on something new will need to learn. They are not looking for someone who has already mastered everything. They are looking for someone who will not quit when things get hard. By showing courage early, you demonstrate that you are the type of person who will push through and deliver. Fear of rejection holds many people back. They think, what if I apply and get turned down? But rejection is not failure, it is feedback. Every attempt sharpens you. Every application, every pitch, every try adds to your experience. Even if you do not get the first chance, you prepare yourself for the next one. The habit of applying despite fear builds resilience. Over time, rejection loses its power, and you become bolder. That boldness multiplies your chances because you keep showing up while others retreat. Applying before you feel ready also shifts your self-image. Each time you step forward, you see yourself differently. You stop identifying as someone who hesitates and start identifying as someone who acts. That change in self-image changes how you carry yourself, how you speak, how you interact with others. People sense it. They sense when someone has built courage through action. They respond with greater respect and greater trust. And trust is what brings bigger chances your way. This habit requires you to silence the inner critic that insists you are not enough. That voice will always exist, but you must learn not to obey it. Courage grows when you act despite the voice. Each time you apply, you weaken its grip. You prove to yourself that the voice of doubt is not the final authority. Over time, the critic becomes quieter, and your inner strength becomes louder. Opportunities are often disguised as challenges. They rarely come labeled as easy or comfortable. When you apply before you feel ready, you show that you can recognize opportunity even when it looks intimidating. That ability sets you apart. Many people run from discomfort, few run toward it. Those few are the ones who grow quickly, who gain experience faster, who become trusted with greater responsibilities. The world moves fast, and waiting too long can mean missing the window. If you hesitate, someone else will step in. The opportunity will pass to those who acted while you were still debating. Courage is a competitive edge. By applying early, you put yourself in the game. You cannot score if you never step onto the field. Preparation still matters, of course. This habit is not about carelessness. It is about balance. Prepare enough to show seriousness, but do not use preparation as an excuse to delay forever. There is a line where preparation turns into procrastination. Learn to recognize that line and cross it. Once you are reasonably ready, act. You will continue learning while moving forward. Action itself is the greatest teacher. This habit also inspires others. When people see you stepping into opportunities before you feel ready, they see bravery. They see proof that it can be done. Your courage becomes an example. You encourage others to step forward in their own lives. Influence is not always about speeches or titles. Sometimes it is simply about showing others that risk is possible. And when you inspire courage in others, they remember you, they respect you, and they may even bring you into opportunities as they rise. Courage in this form is contagious. It spreads through teams, families, and communities. When one person steps up, it challenges others to do the same. If you adopt this habit, you become the person who sets the tone. That reputation makes you valuable, not only for what you do, but for how you influence those around you. Leaders notice such people, and leaders are often the gatekeepers of new chances. Applying before you feel ready also accelerates growth. When you take on challenges earlier than expected, you force yourself to stretch. Stretching is uncomfortable, but it builds capability faster than staying in familiar territory. Each time you do it, your skills grow, your resilience strengthens, and your range expands. Soon what once felt impossible becomes natural. That speed of growth attracts more opportunities because people see you evolving quickly. You may still fail at times, but even failure brings hidden opportunity. You gain lessons others never learn, because they never tried. You build character that cannot be faked. You develop a reputation for courage, and reputation often matters more than short-term outcomes. People admire those who try boldly. Even if they stumble, they know courage when they see it, and they want to work with it. This habit also changes how influential people view you. They see that you are not afraid to take risks, that you are willing to step forward when others hesitate. That makes them more likely to invest in you, mentor you, or recommend you. They know you will seize chances rather than waste them. Trust in your courage opens doors that talent alone cannot. Over time, applying before you feel ready becomes part of your identity. You no longer wait for life to hand you permission. You no longer ask, "Am I good enough yet?" Instead, you ask, "What can I learn by trying now?" That shift puts you ahead of the majority, who are still waiting for the perfect conditions. Life does not reward waiting. It rewards acting. So when the next opportunity appears, whether it is a new role, a project, a competition, or a chance to speak. Do not wait until you feel fully prepared. Step forward. Apply with courage. Trust yourself to learn on the way. You will surprise yourself with what you are capable of, and even if the outcome is not immediate success, you will be farther ahead than if you had done nothing. The act of applying is itself a victory, because it builds the habit of courage, and courage more than readiness is what brings opportunity to your life again and again.
Chapter 10. Build consistency so opportunities see you as dependable. Build consistency so opportunities see you as dependable. This is one of the strongest habits you can develop, because opportunities rarely appear to those who only show up when they feel like it. The world watches patterns. People notice behavior. If you want to be trusted with more, you must prove through steady action that you can be counted on. Consistency is not about one big effort. It is about repeating the right actions long enough that others know exactly what to expect from you. That expectation builds confidence, and confidence is the doorway to new chances. Many people start strong but fade quickly. They show enthusiasm in the beginning, then lose interest when the excitement dies down. They show up when motivation is high, but disappear when things get hard. This creates doubt. Others see that pattern and hesitate to depend on them. Consistency means doing what is required, not just when you feel inspired, but also when you feel tired, distracted, or bored. That steady discipline is what separates those who succeed from those who drift. Dependability is built in small steps. Showing up on time, completing work by the deadline, keeping commitments even when circumstances shift, staying present in your responsibilities day after day. None of these acts look dramatic, but together they create a powerful reputation. People begin to associate your name with reliability. They know you will not vanish midway. They know you will finish what you begin. That reputation travels further than you realize, because people talk about those they can count on. Consistency also builds trust in yourself. When you follow through on your own plans, you strengthen your self-image. You stop seeing yourself as someone who breaks promises to yourself, and you start seeing yourself as someone who keeps them. This self-trust fuels confidence. You begin to believe more deeply in your ability to handle bigger challenges, because you have proof from your own track record. Confidence built from consistency is solid, because it comes from action, not just from words. Opportunities often test reliability before offering greater rewards. You may first be trusted with something small, a minor task, a simple role, a limited responsibility. How you handle that test determines whether larger doors open. If you treat small responsibilities with care and deliver consistently, people notice. They begin to think, if they can handle this well, they can handle more. Consistency on small levels unlocks bigger chances, but if you treat small tasks lightly, larger opportunities never arrive, because no one risks giving more to someone they cannot depend on. Consistency also brings results that compound over time. Daily effort, even if small, builds momentum. A few pages written every day becomes a book. A short workout each day becomes strength and health. Reaching out to people regularly becomes a strong network. The power is not in one large effort, but in steady repetition. Opportunities see you not only as dependable, but also as someone who produces results. That combination makes you highly valuable. Being consistent requires discipline with habit. Habits shape your days, without requiring constant decision-making. When you create routines that support your goals, you remove excuses. You do not ask yourself whether you feel like doing something. You simply do it because it is part of your daily rhythm. This removes the emotional ups and downs that sabotage progress. Habits are the backbone of consistency. Build them with intention, and they will carry you through times when motivation is low. Consistency is not the same as rigidity.
You do not have to do everything the same way forever. Life changes, conditions shift, and flexibility is necessary. But even as you adapt, you can remain consistent in effort, in presence, and in commitment. What matters is not that every detail stays the same, but that the pattern of showing up remains unbroken. People will forgive adjustments as long as they see that you continue to deliver steadily. When others evaluate you for opportunities, they do not only look at talent, they look at patterns. They ask, will this person continue delivering 6 months from now, a year from now, or will they fade? Consistency answers that question before they even ask it. If you have a history of steady action, your record speaks for you. You do not have to convince anyone with promises. Your track record convinces them with proof. Consistency also builds resilience. When you keep going day after day, you become tougher. You learn to push through challenges, setbacks, and boredom. This resilience makes you attractive to those offering opportunities because they know you will not collapse when pressure arrives. Consistency is not just about steady results, it is about steady character. People trust not just your work, but your stability as a person. One challenge in building consistency is the desire for instant rewards. Many give up because they do not see results fast enough, but consistency is about long-term gains, not quick wins. You must trust that effort compounding over time creates results beyond what you can see in the moment. Opportunities often appear later, not immediately. They come to those who keep going even when rewards are not visible yet. The habit of consistency also demonstrates respect for others. When you follow through on commitments, you show that you value their time and trust. This respect strengthens relationships, and strong relationships are the foundation of opportunity. People are far more likely to recommend or partner with someone they know will deliver steadily than with someone brilliant but unpredictable. Dependability beats brilliance when it comes to trust. Consistency even influences how you are perceived by strangers. If you regularly produce work, share ideas, or show up in your field, people begin to associate you with reliability, even without knowing you personally. A writer who publishes regularly gains more readers. A professional who engages consistently in their industry gains more recognition. The simple act of showing up regularly creates visibility, and visibility draws opportunities closer. To build this habit, focus on small commitments first. Choose actions you can sustain daily or weekly, not just in bursts of energy. Prove to yourself that you can follow through, then gradually expand. The goal is not to start big and collapse, but to start steady and grow. Each fulfilled commitment adds to your foundation of dependability. Over time, the foundation becomes unshakable. Another aspect of consistency is honesty. If you cannot deliver, admit it early, communicate clearly, rather than leaving others in uncertainty. Honesty protects trust even when you fall short. Consistency does not mean perfection, it means reliability in both action and communication. When you show you can be counted on to speak truthfully and act responsibly, people trust you more deeply. Consistency also frees mental energy. When your actions are steady, you do not waste time debating what to do each day. You know your path and you walk it. This frees you to focus on improving your craft and seeking new chances instead of struggling with inconsistency. The energy saved becomes fuel for growth. You may not always feel motivated, but consistency is about showing up anyway. Motivation is fleeting, but discipline is lasting. The difference between those who achieve great things and those who do not is often simply that the achievers kept going when they didn't feel like it. That habit of persistence becomes their edge. In a world where many people quit too soon, consistency is rare. That rarity makes it valuable. When you are consistent, you stand out because so few maintain it. You gain a reputation not only for reliability, but also for endurance. People want to align with those who will last. They want to build with those who will not disappear. Your consistency becomes an asset that speaks louder than talent, louder than words. Over time, your consistency tells a story. It says, I can be trusted. I keep going. I finish what I start. That story attracts opportunities because opportunities look for stable hands. They seek dependable shoulders. They seek those who will not waste them. By building consistency, you become that person. So take this habit seriously. Do the work even when it feels repetitive. Keep promises even when they feel small. Show up on the days when it would be easier not. Each act of consistency is a brick, and with enough bricks, you build a structure of trust that others can rely on. And when opportunities come searching for dependability, they will see you clearly, because your record speaks louder than anything else. Build consistency, and life will hand you chances that only the dependable ever receive.